Hello, everyone, and here we have a new story. Before we get to that, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and be sure to write comments in order to participate in the development of the community. Write how to improve my community, current topics in the stories you are interested in, and much more. I read and listen to all the comments. People write me stories by mail from different countries. There are problems with translation. I apologize for this. I will work on it and try to fix these errors. I want to thank everyone for their support and the people who wrote to me by mail. Broadcast news stories. New videos on my channel are published once every 2 days at 7 p.m. Don't forget to put a bell in order not to miss new videos. And now let's go. Hello, today I want to tell you an interesting story. I'm 29 years old. My wife is 27 years old. We have been married for 4 years. We have no children. About my wife cheating on me with her boss. A former colleague of my wife told me about it. I used to cross paths with this very slippery person. I realized that he did not tell me this out of male solidarity. His superiors just found out that he was selling information to competitors for money. He's just been fired. Apparently, in this way, he decided to take revenge on his former boss. Naturally, I pretended not to believe his words. I told him never to catch my eye again. But this information explained a lot. My wife often stayed late at work. For some unknown reason, she often went to corporate parties. There were a lot of questionable business trips. My wife works as a chief accountant in a construction company. The salary in this company is decent. All colleagues saw and knew everything, but they were silent because they were afraid of losing a good job. This guy apparently had nothing to lose. I was interested. Why did this guy come to me? Why didn't he go to his boss' wife? Most likely because he's just a coward. Anyway, let's continue my story. I decided not to make a scandal right away. This guy's words wouldn't be enough. To arrange a showdown between me and my wife, I noticed that my wife has changed her image. She has a lot of branded clothes. I worked as a security officer in a small bank. My salary wasn't big enough to allow for all this from my wife. And my wife's behavior became very strange. She made scandal over every little thing. She ignored me and pulled away. Although there were days when she was gentle and passionate, we had very little sex. She told me that she was tired at work and she was not up to it. In this regard, I decided to play detective. I started my own investigation. The first thing I did when my wife came in after work and went to the shower. She liked to be in the shower for a long time. I took her mobile phone. She usually didn't part with her mobile phone. But today was my day. She left her mobile phone charging in our bedroom, but I was disappointed. I didn't find anything wrong there. No messages, no calls of a dubious nature, nothing. I even looked through the correspondence with her friends. I didn't find anything anyway. Everything was very competently deleted from her mobile phone. I started looking for my wife's second mobile phone in her purse. But again, I didn't find anything. I even looked into my wife's laptop. I didn't find anything but working papers. But one clue still appeared. When I was rummaging through her purse, I found a receipt for paying for a hotel room. This hotel was located 30 kilometers from our city, but I didn't make a scandal and show the check. There's very little evidence of this. She could have told me that she was at some kind of object for work. It was very late. She decided to rent a hotel room to relax. The words of my wife's former colleague are no longer an argument. If you're already arranging a showdown, then with reliable evidence, so as not to seem like a jealous paranoid, I already wanted to complete my investigation. But doubt tormented my soul. I didn't want to go to the detective because it was expensive. My wife's boss is a high-flying bird. He is 45 years old. He is the owner of a construction company. His firm is considered one of the largest developers in our city. He is married. The eldest son is studying in the second year of an elite university. The youngest son studied at an elite gymnasium. His wife is the owner of a design studio. She is 38 years old. I decided that I would bring my investigation to an end. I rented a car because my wife knew my car. I bought a quadcopter with a camera, and I waited for the right moment. A little time passed, and the day of judgment came. My wife called me and said she was leaving town for work today and would be back very late. At that moment, I decided it was time to act. I went to the office where my wife worked. I parked nearby and watched. It took 6 hours, and only in the evening my wife left the office in the company of her boss. They got into my wife's boss's car and drove away. I followed them. On the way there, I could barely cope with my thoughts. My feelings cannot be expressed in words. This is fear, a lump in the throat, difficulty breathing. But at the same time, I wanted to do everything beautifully and not screw up. As a result, they drove up to the hotel. I've already found a payment receipt at this institution before. My wife and boss entered the hotel. I waited a bit and followed him. I had to try to find out which room they were in, with difficulty, but I found out that they are located on the 3rd floor. The room number is 38. If the number is even, then the windows of the room overlook the backyard. I get back in the car and drive up to the backyard of the hotel. I'm taking a quadcopter. I found the windows of their room very quickly. For an hour, they drank champagne and talked about something, but then they started kissing. As a result, my wife began to undress and slightly undressed her boss. And then, everything was like in German erotic films. I had no more doubts. The fact of my wife's infidelity was 100%. It was a shock to me. I don't want anyone to go through this. To see your wife having sex with another with her own eyes. I don't remember how I got home. My thoughts were confused and the ground was slipping away from under my feet. From the very beginning, I had a desire to run into his office and beat him as hard as possible. But what will I achieve with this? The guards will throw me out on the street like a dog. In the worst case, I will be put in jail. It remained to arrange a showdown with his wife and throw her out on the street. I decided to leave it for later. Because first, I wanted to destroy my wife's boss's family. I took a video on my quadcopter and went to his wife's office. Told her everything. That her husband destroyed my family and showed her a video. She's a beautiful woman. A bright brunette with a magnificent bust. I immediately felt attracted to her. Despite the fact that the woman was older than me, she wasn't particularly surprised by my story. She only sympathized with me and calmed me down. She expressed even more sympathy for my wife. She called my wife a fool because she knew for a long time that her husband was a womanizer. She accepted it. My wife was far from his first and definitely not his last girlfriend. Sooner or later, he will find a new favorite. My beloved wife will retire in every sense. The boss's wife asked me to send her this video. She said that she and her husband have had a partnership for a long time. There was no more love for each other. I returned home and finally presented all the evidence to my wife. My wife didn't even deny anything. My wife said I was a loser and a beggar, that it wasn't the life she dreamed of. She has a promising future with her boss. On the same day, my wife fucked up her things and left. I continued to communicate with the boss's wife. I started taking care of this woman. Soon, we had an affair. Perhaps you will ask why she needs me. I do not know. Maybe she also wanted to take revenge on her husband. That's what revenge turned out to be for my wife's lover. The boss did not arrange any showdown with me, because Janice said that if something happens to me, she has dirt on him. I divorced my wife. She didn't even try to make peace with me and save the marriage. Janice is also in the process of divorce. By the way, this is the name of the boss's wife. I just forgot to clarify, but it will take them much longer, because there are children and a whole empire of business there. After the divorce, Janice will be far from a poor person, although I'm not in the least interested in her money. After everything that happened, the boss dumped my wife and fired her from the company. After an unsuccessful attempt to restore our relationship, she went to another city to live with her parents. At the moment, Janice and I are planning to live together. I hope that we will succeed. I wish each of you to find a worthy woman. That's the whole story, friends. What do you say about this? Now let's move on to the advice of the author of the channel. Channel author's advice. I want to commend you for your resilience and determination. I hope everything works out for you with your new sweetheart. Life has thrown some unexpected challenges your way, but you've shown remarkable courage in facing them head on. Remember that you're not alone, and there are people who support you, admire your strength, and believe in your ability to overcome adversity. Here's a piece of advice for you. Keep your focus on your own growth and happiness. Your journey might have taken unexpected turns, but it's also an opportunity for self-discovery and personal development. Use this time to reinvent yourself, set new goals, and build a brighter future. Surround yourself with positive influences and people who uplift you. Lean on your friends and loved ones, as they can be a great source of support during challenging times. Seek professional guidance if needed, as therapists and counselors can provide valuable insights and tools to navigate life's complexities. Never forget that your worth isn't defined by your past experiences or the actions of others. You have the power to shape your own destiny and create a fulfilling life. Keep moving forward with determination and don't be afraid to chase your dreams. You've already shown incredible strength, and I have no doubt that you'll continue to rise above any obstacles that come your way. Keep believing in yourself and your ability to create a better future. Your best days are still ahead of you. If you have watched to the end, I want to say thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. I appreciate your support and encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your participation and feedback are invaluable for shaping our content and promoting mutual understanding and community growth. Until we meet again.